Roots of ambition. Mayline brushed soil from her hands as she checked the time on her phone. She was running late again, and Aiden hated when she was late, especially to one of his parents' dinner parties. Just one more seedling, she whispered to herself, carefully transferring the delicate sprout to its new pot. The small apartment balcony garden was her sanctuary, rows of experimental plant varieties that she believed could revolutionize urban farming. If only she could get someone to take her seriously. May quickly showered, trading her dirt-stained jeans for a simple blue dress, the nicest one she owned. She couldn't afford designer labels on her research assistant salary, something Aiden's mother never failed to notice. The taxi dropped her at the Reed family estate, a sprawling mansion that made Mei feel small every time she approached it. Aiden greeted her at the door with a kiss that felt perfunctory. "You smell like plants again," he whispered, his smile not reaching his eyes. "I was finishing an experiment," May explained. "The vertical hydroponic system is showing promising results. I think this could be—" Aiden cut her off. "Not tonight, May. Dad's got some important investors here. Just try to fit in." May swallowed her excitement and nodded. They'd been dating for 2 years, yet she still felt like Aiden was perpetually waiting for her to transform into someone else. Someone who belonged in his world of wealth and status. Dinner was a parade of subtle humiliations. Aiden's mother asking if May had found a real job yet. His father changing subjects whenever May spoke about sustainable agriculture. Aiden's college friends making jokes about dirt diggers when they thought she couldn't hear. "Your girlfriend is quaint," said Sophia Landon, the daughter of Aiden's father's business partner. "It's so charitable of you to date someone so grounded." May excused herself to the bathroom, fighting tears. When she returned, she overheard Aiden in the hallway. "It's not serious," he was saying to someone. "May's brilliant, but she doesn't understand how things work. All this talk about changing the world with plants? It's cute, but childish. So why stay with her?" asked a female voice, Sophia's. "We're not going to last much longer," Aiden replied. "I need someone who understands my world." May felt her heart crack. She stepped into view, and Aiden's face drained of color. "May, you don't need to explain," she said quietly. "I understand perfectly." The next week passed in a blur of tear-stained research notes. Aiden called repeatedly, then texted that they needed to talk. When they finally met at their favorite cafe, May already knew what was coming. "I think we want different things," Aiden said, not quite meeting her eyes. May nodded. "You want someone who fits the life you already have. I want to build something new." "You're living in a fantasy, May. Your ideas about sustainable farming are admirable, but they're not practical. My father offered to help find you a proper position at an agricultural corporation, where my research would sit in a drawer," May finished. "No, thank you. This is what I mean. You're brilliant but stubborn. You'll never get anywhere without connections and funding." May took a deep breath. "Then I'll make my own way." "With what? Your collection of plant samples and a tiny research stipend?" "With this?" May pulled out her notebook filled with designs and formulas. "I've been developing a patent for my vertical farming system. Dr. Williams thinks it could revolutionize urban agriculture." Aiden laughed, and the sound cut through Mei like a knife. "May, be realistic. You need money and influence to change the world." "Then I'll get them," she said, standing up. "Goodbye, Aiden." As she walked away, May felt something unexpected beneath the pain. Relief. For the first time since they'd met, she didn't feel small anymore. She felt like a seed, ready to break through the soil toward the light. Planting new beginnings, Mayline stood outside the abandoned warehouse, clutching her proposal tightly against her chest. 6 months had passed since the breakup with Aiden, and while the wound was still fresh, she had channeled her heartbreak into determination. "This is it," said Dr. Elijah Williams, her former professor and now mentor. The tall man with silver-streaked hair placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Are you ready?" Mee nodded, taking in the dilapidated building. Where others saw ruins, she envisioned rows of vertical growing systems, a revolution in urban farming taking root in the heart of the city. "The Community Development Board was impressed with your proposal," Elijah said. 3 years of free use if you can employ local residents and provide fresh produce to food deserts in the area. Inside, sunlight streamed through dusty windows, illuminating the vast, empty space. May walked the perimeter, her mind calculating dimensions and possibilities. "I can fit 20 hydroponic towers here," she murmured, "and the nutrient cycling system along that wall." Within weeks, Green Horizon began to take shape. May worked 18-hour days, sleeping on a cot in what would become the office. Her savings dwindled rapidly, but her resolve never wavered. On a particularly exhausting evening, as May calibrated the water flow system, a knock echoed through the warehouse. A tall man with warm brown eyes and an easy smile stood in the doorway. "I heard someone was bringing the future of farming to our neighborhood," he said. "Noah Chen," he introduced himself, extending his hand. "I run the community kitchen 3 blocks over. Word is you'll have vegetables soon." May smiled, noticing the soil under his fingernails matched her own. 2 weeks for the first harvest. Fast-growing greens first, then we expand. Noah became a regular visitor, helping May install equipment and offering connections to local restaurants interested in ultra-fresh produce. Unlike Aiden, he asked questions about her work with genuine curiosity, not patronizing amusement. "Your nutrient recycling system is brilliant," Noah said one evening as they shared takeout on overturned buckets. "You've essentially created a closed-loop ecosystem." May blushed at the compliment. "It's still experimental. The real innovation is the vertical growing matrix that uses 95% less water." "You're changing the way we think about urban food production," Noah said simply. His gaze lingered on her face, making her heart flutter unexpectedly. The first harvest celebration brought the community together. Children stared wide-eyed at lettuce growing without soil. Elderly neighbors reminisced about victory gardens, and local chefs marveled at the intensity of flavor in May's produce. Amidst the celebration, Mai received a call that changed everything. A prominent environmental science journal wanted to feature her innovation. By the following week, investors began reaching out. "You need to think bigger," said Sarah Jacobson, a venture capitalist who'd read the article. "Your system could work anywhere. Rooftops, abandoned buildings, even disaster zones." As Green Horizon expanded to 3 more locations, ME hired her first employees, primarily from the neighborhood. Among them was Rosa Martinez, a community organizer with a background in business administration. "We're getting attention," Rosa reported one morning, 6 months into the venture. "There's a sustainability conference next month. They want you to speak about urban agriculture solutions." May stared at the invitation. 2 years ago, she'd begged Aiden to help her attend this very conference, only to be told it wasn't worth the effort. That evening, as she locked up, she found Noah waiting outside with 2 cups of tea. "To celebrate your invitation," he said, handing her a steaming cup. They walked through the community garden Noah had started next to his kitchen, fingers occasionally brushing. When they reached a bench beneath flowering plum trees, Noah turned to her. "May, I've been meaning to tell you something," he began, his usual confidence wavering. "Seeing you build your dream, watching how you care for this community and this planet, it's inspired me." He took her hand gently, his thumb tracing circles on her palm. "And I find myself thinking about you even when we're not talking about hydroponics." May felt warmth spread through her chest as Noah leaned closer, his breath mingling with hers. Their first kiss was gentle, tentative, like the first unfurling of a seedling reaching for light. Growing pains. The conference room buzzed with tension as Mee finished her presentation. 2 years had passed since Green Horizon's humble beginnings, and now she stood before a room of agricultural industry executives, many visibly uncomfortable with her success. "Ms. Lin, while your system is interesting, it lacks scalability for commercial agriculture," said Richard Barton, CEO of Agri Solutions International. "It's a charming hobby, not a viable business model." May had faced this condescension before. "Our data shows otherwise," she responded calmly. Green Horizon's systems now operate in 12 cities, producing the equivalent of 200 acres of conventional farmland on just 3% of the land, using 95% less water. As the room erupted in argument, May felt her phone vibrate with an incoming text from Noah. "Remember, they fear what they don't control." "You've got this." The simple message centered her. Their relationship had deepened over the past year, Noah's steady support becoming her anchor through Green Horizons' explosive growth. Unlike Aiden, Noah celebrated her ambition rather than feeling threatened by it. Back at Green Horizons' headquarters, no longer a warehouse but a gleaming four-story building with experimental rooftop gardens, May faced new challenges. Their rapid expansion had created growing pains. The Denver facility reports nutrient imbalances, Rosa said, now operations director for the entire company, and the investors are pushing for faster expansion into international markets. May massaged her temples, fatigue evident. We need to perfect the system before we expand further. Quality over quantity. The board may disagree, Rosa warned, particularly Benson Capital. Jackson Benson had invested heavily in Green Horizon, but his vision clashed with May's. He wanted immediate profitability. She insisted on sustainable growth and community involvement. Later that evening, Noah found Mai still working in her office, surrounded by soil samples and growth charts. "You missed dinner," he said, placing a container of homemade curry on her desk. May looked up with tired eyes. "I'm sorry. Benson is threatening to pull funding if we don't accelerate our Asia expansion." Noah pulled up a chair. "What does your instinct tell you?" "That rushing expansion will compromise our standards. We're not just selling technology. We're changing agricultural paradigms." Noah nodded. "Then stand your ground." His unwavering faith in her vision contrasted sharply with Aiden's dismissal years ago. Noah reached across the desk, his fingers intertwining with hers. "Move in with me," he said suddenly. May blinked in surprise. "What?" "I love you, Maylene. I love your brilliant mind, your stubborn determination, and how you still insist on tending to the original garden plot yourself every Sunday." May's eyes welled with tears. "My apartment is full of experimental plants." "I know," Noah laughed. "Bring them all. We'll turn the sunroom into your home laboratory." The confrontation with Benson Capital came to a head during a stormy board meeting. Mai refused to compromise Green Horizons' mission for rapid profit. "Either we do this right or not at all," she stated firmly. "Our technology has the potential to address global food insecurity, but only if implemented properly." Benson threatened to withdraw his investment. Mai stood her ground. To everyone's shock, 3 other investors sided with Mai, including Dr. Elijah Williams, who had invested his retirement savings in her vision. That night, as rain pattered against the windows of Noah's, now their, apartment, Mai nestled against him, emotionally drained. "What if I made the wrong choice?" she whispered into the darkness. Noah's arms tightened around her. "The easy choice and the right choice rarely align." His lips found hers in the dim light, tender at first, then hungry with desire. Mai surrendered to his touch, finding in Noah's embrace the safety to be vulnerable. Their bodies moved together with increasing urgency, his hands tracing paths along her skin that made her gasp and arch against him. In these moments, the outside world with its challenges and expectations melted away. After, as they lay tangled in sheets, Noah's heartbeat steady beneath her cheek, Mai's phone lit up with a news alert. Agri-Solutions International, Richard Barton's company, and one of their biggest critics, was facing bankruptcy after failed expansion attempts. What the article didn't mention, but Mai knew from industry gossip, was that Aiden Reed had recently joined their executive team, promising innovations that never materialized. Unexpected harvest. 5 years had passed since Green Horizons' inception. What began in an abandoned warehouse had blossomed into Green Matrix Technologies, a billion-dollar company revolutionizing food production worldwide. Mai Lin, once mocked for her impractical dreams, now graced the covers of business magazines as the visionary who transformed urban agriculture. On this particular morning, Mai stood before the sprawling headquarters of Green Matrix, watching employees stream into the building. The company now employed over 2,000 people across 4 continents, with research facilities developing innovations beyond Mai's original vision. "Ms. Lin," her assistant called, hurrying across the plaza. "The executive committee is waiting for the quarterly meeting." Mai nodded, straightening her simple linen blazer. Despite her success, she maintained a modest personal style. channeling the company's resources into research and employee benefits rather than extravagance. The boardroom fell silent as May entered. Around the table sat the architects of Green Matrix's success. Rosa Martinez, now Chief Operations Officer, Dr. Elijah Williams, Head of Research, and representatives from their global divisions. Noah sat near the end, having built his community kitchen initiative into Green Matrix's food justice program, ensuring their technology reached communities that needed it most. Sustainable growth continues in all sectors, Rosa reported. Our Asian expansion has exceeded projections by 28%, and the drought-resistant matrix system has received regulatory approval for distribution in sub-Saharan Africa. May nodded, satisfaction warming her chest. Unlike conventional corporations, Green Matrix measured success not just in profits, but in water saved, communities served, and sustainable food systems created. There is one matter requiring your attention, Rosa continued, her expression shifting. Human Resources has forwarded an application for the International Marketing Director position. The candidate has exceptional qualifications, but you may want to review it personally. May accepted the tablet, then froze as she saw the name, Aiden Reed. Her fingers hovered over the screen as memories surfaced. His laughter when she shared her dreams, the dismissal in his voice, the humiliation at his family's dinner parties. Is everything all right? Noah asked, noticing her reaction. Yes, May replied, regaining her composure. Schedule the final interview for tomorrow. I'll conduct it personally. After the meeting, Noah found me in her office, staring out at the vertical farming demonstration garden that was the company's crown jewel. It's him, isn't it? Noah asked quietly. Me had shared the story of Aiden early in their relationship. She nodded. His resume is impressive on paper. Executive positions at 3 companies, including Agri Solutions before it folded. What those positions have in common, Noah noted, is that he left each before their collapse. May turned to Noah, seeing the concern in his eyes. I need to see him. Noah approached, taking her hands in his. Are you sure? I'm not the same person he left at that cafe, May said. Neither is he, I suspect. The next day, May waited in her office as her assistant showed Aiden in. His expensive suit couldn't hide the weariness around his eyes, but he still carried himself with practiced confidence, until he saw May behind the desk. May? Disbelief washed over his features. You run Green Matrix? May gestured to the chair across from her desk. I founded it. Please sit down. Aiden sank into the chair, visibly processing this revelation. I knew the founder was M. Lin, but I never connected. I thought you'd be working in some university research department. Many people underestimated what I could build, May replied evenly. Your resume shows impressive experience, though I noticed several short tenures. Aiden shifted uncomfortably. Market volatility, bad timing, and Agri Solutions. I believe Richard Barton recruited you personally. A sinking ship by the time I arrived, Aiden said defensively. Barton was stuck in outdated agricultural paradigms. The paradigms you once told me were the only viable future, May observed. Silence stretched between them, heavy with unspoken history. I was wrong, Aiden finally admitted, his voice barely audible. About many things. The admission hung in the air as May studied the man who had once dismissed her dreams. His family's investment firm had collapsed in a financial scandal 2 years earlier. The Reed name, once synonymous with influence, now carried the taint of failure. Why Green Matrix? May asked. With your connections, surely there are other opportunities. Aiden met her gaze directly for the first time. Because you're doing what everyone said was impossible. Because this company represents everything I've come to realize matters. The irony wasn't lost on me. The company built on ideas Aiden had mocked was now his desired salvation. The position requires relocation to our Singapore office, May said, watching his reaction. 3-month probationary period, standard compensation package. Aiden blinked in surprise. You're offering me the job? Full bloom, the spring evening bathed Green Matrix's rooftop garden in golden light as Mi Lin surveyed the gathering. 500 guests mingled among thriving vertical garden systems. celebrating the company's 7th anniversary and the launch of their most ambitious project yet. Self-sustaining agricultural domes designed for food production in extreme environments. Quite a change from our first harvest party, Noah remarked, appearing at her side with 2 glasses of champagne made from their vineyard's first successful harvest. Me accepted the glass, leaning into his familiar warmth. 2 years into their marriage, Noah still looked at her with the same wonder as when they'd first met. "Sometimes I can't believe how far we've come," May admitted, watching Rosa directing staff with her characteristic efficiency. Beyond her, Dr. Williams was enthusiastically explaining the new dome technology to a group of United Nations representatives. "I never doubted it," Noah said. "Not for a second." May's gaze drifted to Aiden, who stood at the edge of the gathering. His 18 months at the Singapore office had proven him a capable marketing director, rebuilding his reputation through dedicated work rather than family connections. "He asked for a transfer back to headquarters," May mentioned. "Says he's met someone, a climate scientist working with our research division." Noah followed her gaze. "And how do you feel about that?" "Honestly, I hope he's learned to value someone for their vision, not their pedigree." The crowd quieted as Rosa clinked a glass, calling for attention. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our founder and CEO, Mei Lin Chen." Applause rippled through the crowd as Mei moved to the small podium. Looking out at the faces, employees, investors, community partners, and her parents who had flown in for the occasion, May felt a profound sense of accomplishment. 7 years ago, Green Horizon began in an abandoned warehouse with a simple belief that we could revolutionize how cities feed themselves. May began. Today, Green Matrix Technologies operates in 43 countries, providing sustainable food solutions where traditional agriculture cannot reach. May gestured to the gleaming dome prototype visible on the adjacent rooftop. "Tomorrow, we begin installation of our first polar agricultural dome in Antarctica. Next year, NASA will deploy our technology on their lunar base. But our greatest achievement isn't measured in technological innovation or profit margins." She paused, finding Noah's encouraging smile in the crowd. "Our greatest achievement is proving that business can prioritize people and planet alongside profit. That compassion and commerce can coexist. That the simple values of caring for our communities and our Earth can transform industries." After her speech, as guests continued celebrating, May found a moment of solitude by the rooftop's edge, gazing at the city lights. Aiden approached hesitantly. "Congratulations, May," he said, maintaining a respectful distance. "Your speech was inspiring." "Thank you," May replied. "I heard Singapore's numbers exceeded projections last quarter." "Good work." Aiden nodded, his expression thoughtful. "I've been meaning to say something for a long time. I'm sorry, for how I treated you, for what I said about your dreams." "That was a lifetime ago," May said gently. "Still, I was wrong," Aiden continued. "Working here has taught me what real vision looks like, what real leadership is." Me studied him, seeing genuine regret in his eyes. "We all grow, Aiden. Sometimes we need different soil to do it." They were interrupted by Noah, who approached with an apologetic smile. "Sorry to interrupt, but your parents are looking for you. They're leaving early for their flight tomorrow." Aiden excused himself as Noah led May back to the party, his hand warm against her lower back. Later that night, after the guests had departed, me and Noah lingered in the rooftop garden. The city slept below them while their dream flourished above, a testament to possibility. "What's next?" Noah asked, his arms encircling her from behind as they gazed at the stars. Me turned in his embrace. "The board approved my proposal for Green Matrix community colleges, training centers in underserved areas, teaching sustainable agriculture alongside business skills." "Always planting seeds," Noah murmured, his lips finding hers in the moonlight. Their kiss deepened as Noah backed her gently against the wall of fragrant herbs. Me's fingers tangled in his hair, her body responding to his familiar touch with renewed hunger. Here, surrounded by the living proof of her vision, Me surrendered to the intimacy they had built, as sustainable and nurturing as the gardens around them. Later, as they lay together on a blanket beneath the dome prototype, Me traced patterns on Noah's chest. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if Aiden hadn't ended things? If he'd supported my ideas instead of dismissing them? Noah considered this. I believe your brilliance would have found its way regardless. But perhaps Green Matrix needed that rejection to become what it is. May nodded, understanding the truth in his words. Success had not come despite her setbacks, but partially because of them. Being underestimated had fueled her determination. Being rejected had freed her to build something authentic to her values. What I've learned, May said softly, is that true success isn't about proving others wrong. It's about staying true to your vision, even when no one else sees it yet. Noah pulled her closer, his heartbeat steady beneath her ear, and surrounding yourself with people who nurture that vision rather than diminish it. As dawn broke over the city, Mei Lin Chen, once mocked for her simple dreams, watched light spill across the garden she had created, illuminating a world transformed not by vengeance or vindication, but by the quiet power of staying true to oneself.